Today we will be taking a look at more projects created using Blender. And we're gonna start with the Backrooms, arguably one of the most viewed projects created using Blender. And for those who are unaware, what you're seeing right now is created by a 16-year-old artist. Ken recently uploaded the longest episode of the series, called Pitfalls. Its events revolve around a group of scientists venturing into the endless maze of the Backrooms, but this time, the artist directed a creative expansion, where the cameraman was teleported into another dimension through a portal on the lower floor of the maze, following the echo of the people's screams only to be baited by a level 6 entity. Next up, we have an interesting looking project that can be considered a cinematic showcase. But we can clearly see that the artist nailed every aspect of the animation, whether it be modeling a realistic looking car, in addition to the eye-catching environment, and most importantly, the movements of the cinematic camera and the car animation. He pulled off a very captivating scene by setting up such realistic looking lighting that gave the sequence an atmospheric sense of depth. The animation featured a short clip of the vehicle driving on the long off-road pathway, and it honestly feels like a shot taken from a big budget movie, which I think is the best compliment I can give to this work. By the way, if you want to learn how to create cinematic scenes for beginners inside Blender, then this training will guide you through a step-by-step process of creating 3 cinematic animations, and you can do this with ease. Follow along as the instructor explains his workflow in this bundle that includes 3 tutorials in a span of 8 hours. You will first create an old Apple PC scene, a fireplace with shells on the table scene, and finally a cable animation. These small projects will go through the basics of Blender and the best practices for modeling, UV unwrapping, texturing, rigging, camera animation, and compositing in After Effects. So if you are a beginner filmmaker or just someone looking for basic knowledge of Blender, this course is for you. And if you are interested, you will find the necessary links in the description. We have in this project a colorful Splatoon animation that was made by an animation expert named John Sandwich. He is known for making Splatoon animations for over 5 years now. The Street Picnic animation features the 2 races of the Splatoon universe, the Octolings and the Inklings. The animation offers a good amount of details on both environments and character design. John did a great job when it comes to shading, lighting, and especially animation, resulting in a fluid and smooth animation, plus the creative and cinematic camera angles. I also have to highlight the fact that the slow motion shot was top notch and made the whole thing look better. The artist mainly used Blender and of course Substance Painter, After Effects, and Photoshop for doing the other type of work. I mean other than modeling and animation. The next one is a high quality project, a unique one as well I might add. The LEGO Justice League animation is a highly detailed animation, and the same thing can be said about direction and the production as a whole. It was made by Calvin Brown, a very talented artist that over 9 months made 3 other LEGO animations which all crossed 1 million views, and his latest work probably is the best. The thing I love the most about Calvin's work is the fact that it is comedy oriented, calling our attention to Aquaman's uselessness, Elon Musk's obsession over Mars, and Batman's unnecessary violence. The artist did an outstanding job making this animation, and the animations are like, well, Lego-like. The lighting is on point and the shading and texturing just couldn't get any better. Inspired by the credits of the Foundation TV series, this artist took off and found his own way of emulating and producing the same visual effects and vibes found on the TV show's intro. And I bet that most of you, including myself, have rewatched this animation quite a few times purely because of how satisfying it is. It was made by Alban Morrell, an artist who took a 40-hour challenge to achieve these shots, using nothing but geometry nodes and point cloud rendering over millions of points. This artist has proven how powerful Blender is, especially when used creatively. It is just mind-boggling to see the degree of complexity, fluidity, and smoothness, making it feel as organic as possible, especially for those micro shots. It is also worth mentioning that the render time took as long as 1 minute per frame on Alban's computer. Backyard Space Station is yet another great project on today's video. It was made by Thomas Rose, an artist with an excellent sense of scale and modeling skills. The realism and storytelling that Thomas was able to pull off in just a matter of 15 seconds is amazing. The amount of effort the artist put into making the space station simply pays off. Also, the complexity, structure and details of the models made it look believable to a great extent throughout the entire sequence, in addition to the good lighting, which made the scene even better. The artist has other amazing artwork on his channel with little to no recognition nor attention to his work, and this fact sadly goes out for thousands of artists simply going under the radar. I have found recently tons of Blender automotive animations, and this one caught my attention. The artist Gaku Yajima featured a gorgeous looking BMW M4 model. He nailed the cinematic professional presentation by setting up multiple angles that you have probably seen on cars exhibitions and racing tracks. He did all that while taking into account the actual car physics when drifting on turns when it comes to speed, weight, friction and so on. The slow motion shots and exhaust close-ups were really amazingly done. Well, I got to say props to the artist for producing such high quality cinematic animations. Now, this project has its own specific spot on today's amazing projects video. LaFerrari is a short car animation that is actually a submission to ASUS Pro Artist Award 2022. The artist was motivated enough for this challenge because he wanted to push beyond his hardware's expected limits, encouraging all artists that are running on a budget computer such as himself. He actually put 200 plus hours into it, and the least I can say about it is that it was well made. It is actually hard to believe that one individual would accomplish such high level of realism with impeccable attention to details, featuring a stunning LaFerrari, which is Ferrari's first ever production car to be equipped with an F1 derived hybrid solution. The artist actually directed a Need for Speed-like animation, which shows that he had some experience with this work before. Next, we have another gorgeous car animation of the GT3 RS. The animation basically revolves around the underlying clip titled "My Dad Has a GTR." The artist did a fantastic job at modeling all the smooth curves of the Porsche. He also perfected the clean texturing work in addition to color grading to create such cinematic and action-like shots. He also did a good job when it comes to camera work and editing the video, resulting in an animation that is quite similar to the shots we can see in movies. This project, called The Drink, is a Blender short animation that can be easily one of the best projects on today's list. The production quality is absolutely great, and to my surprise, the artist behind this artwork is merely 15 years old. This young man was able to achieve a high quality level of animation in a matter of 2 months. Throughout the animation, you will see many shots filled with details and realistic looking renders, and this shows how flexible Blender is and how skilled the artist is as well. He used a combination of Blender, After Effects, Marvelous Designer and DaVinci Resolve. Before he started this work, he did his research when it comes to different lenses, characteristics of such projects, and how the old 90s movies were filmed to replicate the old generation photography in addition to Hollywood filmmaking styles. I hope you found these animations and projects inspirational and entertaining. Also, if you have made cool projects recently, let us know in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.